Well, hello everyone. This is Chrystallynn back again for a second night, a continuation of my North Node video. I hadn't planned on necessarily doing this, but I have to apologize to my Cappies. Last night, I skipped right over you guys. And my poor Cappies, you always get the bum deal, right? So tonight, I'm going to be talking directly to you guys and giving you a little special message in hopes that you will forgive me. And we're talking also, I'm going to be answering some questions. I got some questions from you guys after I did the video on the North Node in Virgo, and I got a really cool email. So I'm going to be sharing that tonight from somebody that I've actually have done a reading with. And they came back and, wanted to update me and share a little bit. And their message really touched me. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I have a feeling many of us are all feeling the same way. And she expresses it really beautifully. So I hope you'll stay with me. And the moon's in Gemini, so I'm real chatty. I haven't really been able to do videos over the last almost 8 weeks. So I've had so much going on inside and I am excited to share. So I hope you guys don't mind. I'm extra chatty tonight. So first of all, let's take a look at our Cappies, my poor Cappies. And I say that because you guys know you have been going through so much. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about the North Node, and then I'm going to bring it in for you guys. So hang with me here. Last night, if you have not watched my video, I hope you guys will, because it will really make sense into what I'm going to share tonight. The North Node is a change, a transition that happens approximately every 18 months. And the North Node has not been in Virgo since 1997. So for those of you who are a little older, you want to look back and see what milestones were going on in your life at that time. When we have big events like this, where a North Node is returning, it often brings with it the theme of what was happening 18 years ago. So sometimes in life, we have a cycle or a chapter in the book, so to speak, that wasn't able to be finished at that time. We were only able to fulfill that chapter in our life with what we had and what we understood and with what was revealed to us at that time, what we could handle. But as we grow and as we develop, we're ready for more of that information that maybe needs to be brought out. And the North Nodes will often bring with them that theme and the ability to heal. This is also a time, like I've said before, that's a very obsessive energy. So those of you who have earth signs, like Virgo, obviously, Taurus or Capricorn, you are going to feel this the most because you're the earth signs, that's the sister sign, and you'll feel this positive, powerful energy. So I shared last night, you want to look in your chart, all the places that you have Virgo there. If you do not have any Virgo, the sun, moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, the major planets in Virgo, look at your houses because there's still a theme there. Also look where you have Taurus and Capricorn because that's going to be a place that's activated as well. Now, last night, I gave an example of my North Node. I have the North Node in Aries. I was born with the South Node, which would be the opposite sign, in Libra. And I talked about, the first half of your life really representing that South Node. It's some people say it's like you've already done this before. You came into this world already mastering this energy. So you kind of spend the first half of your life, going through something you've already gone through before. I'm not quite sure I completely subscribe to that, but that is one theory. And so it's kind of unfulfilling. But I kind of ask the question, like, why waste 35 years of your life, like doing something over again? But I question everything. So, that's just one of my questions. I tend to feel, because I like to, grasp onto what I know is true and then work from there. And I know that it's true that when we're born, we can be brought in to this theme. But often we will not grow to something else unless something else isn't working. Why would we change? And there's a part of us often that we struggle with so that we can so appreciate and grasp on to the opposite side of where we need to grow. So tonight I want to talk, I didn't mention it last night and I should have used it as the example of the South Node in Pisces and the North Node in Virgo. If you were born in that energy, again, the last time that we saw that was in 1997. If you were born in that energy, then this is your return. But as the theme of your life, you're getting activated now. But the theme of your life really, is a lifelong process. A lot of people who were born with the South Node in Pisces will have potentially experienced things such as dealing with potentially a family of addicts or addiction, maybe dealing with mental illness in your family the first half of your life, maybe dealing with drugs and alcohol yourself the first half of your life, really struggling with addiction, struggling with escapism. This can also play out in a very religious family, or that you take on a strong religion from a young age or pursue religion from a very young age. A lot of times because the South Node is really the place, like I said, that we're letting go of, that we're going through, but we really can't grasp onto it. It's like an illusion. And because of that, as you start to move into the second half of your life, which in astrology we say is about 30 to 35, after your first Saturn, you really become, I believe, an adult. Then you start to move into the North Node energy, which is opposite, which would be Virgo. So now you see that person taking on responsibility, being more obsessed with doing something in life and not just being caught up in a life that's got a lot of confusion and chaos, but having order, having security, possibly starting a business, taking that spiritual journey, taking those lessons that you learned and now doing something practical with it. I know a friend of mine, in fact, she's born in, I believe, 1960. So that would be another time we would see the North Node in Virgo and the South Node in Pisces. And she did all of those above that I talked about, had a really difficult family situation, addiction really heavy in the first half of her life, a lot of, probably abusive relationships, I would say. Pisces, you guys, sometimes can represent being abused, sexual abuse, molestation. I know I'm talking about like kind of creepy stuff, but that's where you'll see it a lot of times in the Pisces energy. So the South Node can have that. But it can also be lover of animals, working with animals, being very psychic the first half of your life. And this friend of mine ended up in the second half of her life working with animals and running a dog grooming business and really just being a powerhouse in the industry, making money. And so she took those years and even helped others through addiction and just an obsession with working and having order in her life. Okay, so I don't know if that example helps make sense a little bit. These are deep astrological subjects. So, I just wanted to give you guys an example that how your life changes. So look at where you were born. When you look at your chart, when you see the North Node, know that the South Node you were born into will be the opposite sign, okay? So let's talk a little bit about our Cappies. Let's get into our Capricorns. Now, Capricorns, you guys have been fueled by Pluto since 2008. So the intensity for the Capricorns to rise, really, and you know, this 20-year cycle of Pluto. Pluto's a slow-moving planet. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. And why do we have Pluto in Capricorn at a time such as this? Because you see the structures everywhere around us crumbling. You see the government crumbling. You see our, you know, bank systems crumbling. You see our churches crumbling. And we, you know, what are we going to do? Who's going to help rebuild this system? Our whole entire world really is going to become, as we are right now, this internet, you know, exchange, you know, where, I mean, I can talk to, you know, 20,000 subscribers a month, or, well, 17, okay, 17, but almost 20,000 subscribers a month, you know, through in my backyard. And how else would I ever get to share what I've worked so hard for in my life, but a platform like this? And so we're moving into new structures, into new ways of communication. We're becoming, you know, it's just a completely different world. There, you know, nothing's going to stop us. And the Capricorns right now are the ones who are helping us and being fueled to rebuild our structures. So you guys have a very important job. But with Pluto there, you know, he has to blow up like a volcano, the old structures. So you guys have been through a lot of, you know, a lot of everything around you being blown up, and then trying to figure out, like, what do we do with this now? But it will continue to be revealed to you guys. And with the North Node in Virgo, it's in a beautiful harmonious trine with Capricorns. So if you have a Capricorn rising, or Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars in Capricorn, this energy the next 18 months is going to help you be more creative with your ideas, help you really see the details. You guys are perfectionistic like us Virgos, okay? We're buddies, and we know how to work. So this will give you that, you know, energy to really make something happen. Sometimes we want to build an empire, but it's, you know, to get there, you have to build the small details. And so you're going to have that energy coming in. This will light up your 9th house, okay? Your 9th house of spirituality, of travel, of even, 9th house always can represent father things as well, you guys. So father issues may be surrounding this. Now remember, because it is such intense energy, sometimes the North Node blows everything up. It brings truth and honesty. And being in Virgo, it's like the researcher. Suddenly you're going to see things that maybe you were burying your head in the sand before, because that represents that South Node Pisces energy. And for those of us who are Pisces, you know, what we grasp onto in our little imaginary worlds isn't going to be as easy to grasp onto. It's going to be kicking our butts to get it out there and do something with this. Let go of that, you know, fantasy world that you're dreaming in, and let's get something done. So for Capricorns, Pisces, the South Node will be in your 3rd house, okay? And so your 3rd house is your relationships, your friendships, your siblings, your internet friends, Facebook friends, okay? And so you may have been hanging on to all these people to help you get where you want to go. And they've been so important to you. But now the universe is saying, okay, you've learned what you needed to learn from them, but we want you to get out there now. And we want you to really step out on your own. Like, you know, 9th house represents the Sagittarius, which is the visionary. And see for yourself and do this on your own. And what do you really believe about you? What do you really believe about yourself? If you don't have that spiritual connection and that inner confidence in life, you will be tossed and turned by the waves of the sea every day of your life, by someone else's opinion, by what somebody else didn't look at you right, somebody else didn't, you know, treat you right. Somebody else didn't meet your expectations. But you know what? It's not about that anymore. Okay? It's about you. And this message is for all of us. It's about us. We have to go into that deep place. Virgos are very independent. And we are, you know, I don't want to say we don't need anybody, because everybody needs somebody and everybody needs to interact in relationships. But we're very self-motivated and self-sustaining, self-fulfilling, our own little self-fulfilling prophecies, okay? Because we are content tending the garden, and we don't need somebody constantly pushing us to work. We find our refuge in working with our hands. That's another thing, you guys. Everybody needs to be working with their hands this next 18 months, because that will relieve stress. All right. There's going to be a lot of anxiety, because Virgos are very anxious, right? Am I doing it right? We're very nervous, and we can get like this. Okay. I'm a Virgo. I can say this. And so it's for a lot of you guys who have not experienced this level of energy. It might be foreign to you. And, you know, again, right now, as we speak, the next few weeks here, we've still got Venus and Mars and Jupiter in Virgo. And we'll have Jupiter all year round until next September with this North Node, okay? So it's not just a typical North Node. It's got Jupiter there. But Jupiter is all good vibes, so it's going to help balance out this crazy energy. But like I say, and I don't care what planet it is, Jupiter and the North Node, this energy, got to get right in your minds, you guys, because whatever's going on in there is what's going to be activated more. You know, we have free will. And for a lot of people, this is going to, you know, some people are going to go cray-cray because they're not taking care of their mental health, and they're not taking care of their spiritual health. And, you know, Virgo holds no prisoners, and the South Node is going to lose its grip. But this is a good time to let go of addictions and take care of your health this year. If you're struggling with addictions, if you're struggling with difficult things like that, because that energy of Pisces that wants to draw us into our little worlds, again, isn't going to have the power. Now, on November 18th, Neptune and Pisces will be moving direct. And we still have Neptune and Pisces in the background. And we'll be talking more about that in the future. But, you know, the South Node, even though it's going to be releasing and having us let go of that Pisces energy, that Neptunian energy, we still have Neptune fueling and going direct. So we're all learning together, you guys, because we're writing the astrology books now. We can all read what the past says, but never in history have all the planets been lined up like they are at a time such as this. So we're writing the story together. These videos and your blogs and your questions and all of these things that we're talking about on the group pages, we're writing history. So we have to figure this stuff out together. There's not going to be an astrologer anywhere that has all the answers. We're just exploring together how to look at this energy, prepare for this energy, but it's going to be different for everyone. So we need to learn about it. We need to talk about it, although we'll have similar themes. Okay, so last thing here, you guys, I want to share with you is a letter I got. I'm just going to read a portion of it. And this is from one of my readers, my audience. I've done a reading with this gal. I didn't know if I was going to mention her name. I didn't tell her I was going to be sharing this, so I may not mention her name. But if you guys ask questions, I'm going to be doing this more, answering your questions. If you want me to use her name, I can do that too. But she is a Cancer ascendant, Mercury moon in Pisces, and in Pisces. So she's my moon in Pisces buddy, but Cancer ascendant, okay? So that's just a little bit I'll share with you. So this was her letter to me. Let me see if I can read it to you guys. Just bear with me here a minute. I don't have any glasses on right now, so hold on. Okay, I'm working on my master's in healthcare administration and have been trying to get my intern started, but I've been met with so much opposition. I even feel, oh wait, I lost my place. Hang with me. I even feel a sense of like, am I losing it? I know that I have to trust, and I have to trust that everything is happening as it should, and that I should have to keep my head up despite everything falling apart around me. But the truth is, it's hard to see with all of the dust from all the falling structures in my life, even in what I believe about life, about God, about me. I'm watching your video on the North and South Node changing. I realize that the South Node will be visiting my moon and Mercury in Pisces, along with transiting Neptune and Chiron. That should be fun. But then I realized after this transit, I will be experiencing a nodal return when the nodes change again. They will hit my natal nodes of Leo North Node, 2nd house, and Aquarius South Node, 8th house. Exactly. This is where my question comes in, Chrystallynn. From one Pisces moon to another, please tell me fish don't drown. So I love this little message, but I could really identify, and I know I've gotten a lot of messages from you guys of, it's like we feel like we're fish out of water. We've never done this before, and the universe is changing so rapidly. And I can almost guarantee you, all of those that are watching this video tonight, we're sharing in a common theme of a complete transformation spiritually. And so the material things in life, the things that we normally find security in, you know what? They're not working. Even money doesn't have the power it used to. It's like a necessity. And that's really how it should be. And I want to encourage my reader and my follower tonight and say that you are going to find your balance. And, you know, the waves have been tossing and turning. You know, for the last 5-6 years, we've been in heavy duty water changes. We've had beautiful, you know, trines up in the sky where, like, you know, little princes and princesses are born under. You know, we've been in this spiritual portal, and we're all learning to speak a completely different language. And what's hard about it, for especially if you're young, is those that have come before us, those that are our elders, they don't speak this language. And those that are coming up, the young generation, they're born speaking this language. And those of us who are kind of born in the 60s, 70s, even 80s, well, not really 80s, you guys are kind of in the middle there. You know, we're sandwiched in between the two, the old traditional ways and this new spiritual language that we all have to live by. It's a new code of ethics. And so I think that's why we're all struggling so much. We watch the news and we're just sick. It's like, you know, the political stuff, and it's just, it's like, you know, is this like Jerry Springer? And right, you know, the presidential stuff, it's like, can I take this seriously? And the truth of the matter is, it's the spiritual ones, the ones that are having this awakening. And you know what I'm talking about? We're all having this awakening. And never before have we been respected. We're like the ones everybody's looking at as the kooks. We're the ones who have the answers. And it's going back to the ways of the earth. It's going back to our ancestors, the natives of the land, and bringing back, you know, learning to heal ourselves from the ways of the land. You know, the medical industry is become scary. And what they do, they're killing us, the food we've been eating. I know I'm kind of going off on this tangent, but what I'm trying to say to you is everything's falling down around us. The churches, the structures, because people are taking their spirituality into their own hands. So you're not alone. Just know that we're protected and we're transcending. We're going through this. And, you know, I just visualize, you know, kind of being in this tunnel of light, going through this storm. And we're going to make it on the other side. And you're entering into the medical field, and the medical field is changing. It's the healers and the empaths behind the scenes. You know, the ones that, you know, come in and touch the patient and know that when they lay their hands on the patient, they can give healing at that moment by a touch. And that they listen. You know, it was interesting because my mother has been in and out of the hospital, and one night, it was really funny because this one nurse came in. My mom and I are like trying to have like this, you know, conversation. And we have like these really like spiritual conversations all the time. And so we're having this conversation, and this nurse keeps coming in, and she's bugging us. She won't leave. And so pretty soon I just thought, you know, I just feel like maybe something's going on here. So we all got to talking. And of course I had to get her birthday, and she was a beautiful Scorpio. And she was just so starving spiritually to have a conversation with women that are talking about valuable things. And I mean, literally, she just kept coming in and stayed in there for like hours. Finally, I was like, okay, bye, Mom. And, but she needed that. And so, you know, we're all hungry for something that, you know, is just not something that it's being created. We're the ones creating it. So hang in there. The delays, the setbacks that we've all had, they're for a reason. We think we're ready, but we're not. And we get a little taste of what it could feel like and what could it be like. And then we have to go back and clean up old messes. I mean, I'm cleaning up messes that I just couldn't clean up 7, 8 years ago when Saturn was in Virgo. I'm actually things I'm dealing with now that have been like thrown in the closet and file cabinets, and I'm getting a second chance, and I'm pulling out things now, and I'm seeing them like, I can handle this. I can do this. This is nothing. And I have to take care of these things so that I can be free. Do I want to do it? No. I want to just go be free. But we live on an earth that has systems that we all have to abide by. You all have to have your driver's license to drive, so you have to do what that takes. You know, we all have to live in the system. But within the system, we're creating new systems of freedom. And, you know, a lot of those other systems are going to break down. This is big time transits, you guys, big time transitions. And, you know, I just have to just remind myself and remind all of you that, you know, the universe has our best interest. When we talk about Saturn and we go, ooh, Saturn. Saturn is your friend. Saturn is your teacher. Saturn is the father you always wanted. Saturn's paying attention to you. You always want our dad to pay attention to us? Believe me, Saturn's got his eye on you. And he wants the best out of you. The best from you. He wants you to have the best of life. That energy is there to support us. I give him a name. I give him an emotion. But it is emotional. And there is connections that we have with these energies. And they bring out things in us. Love and joy and peace. But we would never know what those things were if we didn't have to fight for them. You know, when something's handed to you guys, let's just face it. We're like, oh, cool. But we really don't get the value unless you've worked hard for it. So the North Node in Virgo is going to be having us all work hard and make something out of our life. Do something with this. Jupiter in Virgo is a brand new 12-year cycle. Now it's time to do something with all of this that we've been learning, all this spirituality, all of this astrology. Do something with it. All of you guys are amazing astrologers. I mean, the questions you ask. I mean, I'm just get up here and share my insights, but I know you guys are very studied and you can use this as a tool. And it doesn't have to be being an astrologer. But it can be. It's just using the cycles of the life, understanding them as tools to life to help us bring out a new system that we live by universal laws and not man's laws. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that answered some questions. I love you guys. Ask some more questions tonight. And I'm going to be popping on. If you guys like the Q&As, I will do more of them. So, and thanks, Cappies, for understanding. And also, if you guys have any specific subject you'd like me to talk about that's going on, leave it below in the comments. If you want to book a reading, cowgirlastrologer.com.